Oh, we're up. We're live.
Yes, we are.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
It's rare we do midday shows.
Yeah.
Today, everybody, first off, thanks for tuning in. If you're on Santa Cruz waves, by all means, we love it that you're here today. If you're listening in your car, 2 hands on the wheel. But today, Neil,
Well,
we're going way back and way forward.
We're going to go way back to the beginning and
Yeah.
way forward to the end.
That's great. And the end's not here yet.
No.
But we do have a special guest today.
And you suggested, and I thought about it. I had the same thought about it too, maybe a month ago, having Rosie come on because she was instrumental in, well, not really, because she thought we were going to fail.
She said we But
Did I say that?
Yeah, right.
You know,
She was instrumental in getting the show off the ground, and she put faith in us that we would make it happen.
right. More
We
faith,
wanted it-
more faith in us than we had.
Absolutely.
That's what you
And
have
so
to do as a program director.
We wanted to have her on.
Fingers crossed.
We wanted to have her on the show, but since then, the shit's hit the fan.
And I'm amazed it's been this long. I mean, it's honestly, because the whole reason that we're here is because that day you drove by KSCO, where obviously Rosie does the morning show for 30 years. How long?
It's April 1st next year will be 32 years, so 31 on the air.
I mean, you're talking like kids listening. Now they have kids who are having kids listening to your show.
I hear that about kids who say, my mum would take me to school and we would listen to you, and then they are adults and now they listen to me. I do hear that, TC, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, first off, thank you for coming, Rosie.
Not at all, thank you
Yeah.
for the cocktails.
We're having cocktails, everybody.
You wanted cocktails.
Yep,
She
yep.
I even got the ice and the fresh lime.
got
And
I'm
Oregon.
impressed.
She was specific. She goes, I want the good vodka. I want the fancy cranberry juice. And don't forget the ice.
It's like Mick Jagger
Don't,
at
by
the
the way,
tour.
don't forget the lime.
You got to
So
do
you know what I did? I pulled a couple of lemons off my tree. All right, and I was driving by New Leaf. I go, the lemons aren't going to work. I went into New Leaf and I bought 1 lime.
Well done. Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you need a bag, sir? I think I got it.
I mean, I don't know if we've ever had a guest that we had to like
Yeah.
pull out the bar and pull out Mick
Hey,
Jagger.
look, I've got my
Got
bar.
her own bar.
Whoops.
I love it.
Portable it is.
So those of you who don't know, Rosie has done the morning show on KSCO for soon to be 32 years. KSCO is right down the street. It's also where the Off Lip radio show started. Neil, maybe jump in. You drove by. You got fired by the Sentinel.
Well,
It's a great story.
I didn't get fired. They called me. They were polite and said, what was her name? Julie Jackson, Neil, we don't have the money to pay you anymore. The surf column is
Sad.
not important, so you're out. So
Surf
right at that-
column is unimportant in this town.
Right. So at that very moment, I got that phone call. I expected it to be dropped because every time you go by KSCO, you're going to drop the phone. You're going to drop the call anyway. But I drove into KSCO, and there was Rosie because I knew Rosie because my brother worked there years ago.
Yeah.
He
You
did
did our
sports.
sports series,
Yeah. So I
right.
knew Rosie. I'm like, Rosie, you should do a surf sport. You should do a show on surfing and skateboarding. She goes, well, that ain't going to get off the ground because we don't do sports here. And I go, well, you better do something because your audience is 80 years old and above, and pretty soon they're all going to be dead.
We do say that.
Right? So if you don't get an influx of youth, not that you and I are very young,
No.
No.
but if you don't get influx of youth in here, the station's going to die because they're all dead. So she goes, well, I don't know. Let me think about it. So I went in there, I kept bugging her. Then finally she said yes, well, on a couple of conditions. I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. She goes, this is what she said to me. You're going to need 5 co-hosts, not 3, 5. I go.
I don't even have 5 friends.
I don't. 5 co-hosts. Well, you're a bunch of surfing, stoning, skateboarders. You aren't going to show up. So if I got 5, at least I think 2 are going to show.
That's true. I really believe that.
You really had me described perfectly.
I know, because when they say, for construction companies, when the surf's up, you're
Yeah.
fucked. Because everybody's out surfing.
Right.
So I felt that it was appropriate to do that, but as it turned out, I didn't need that because you would come on the air stoned anyway.
You said that about the guy who built. You said that on the radio the other day about the guy who built building the Golden Gate Bridge netting.
Yes.
Dan's construction company or Dan? Right.
Dad's construction.
Was putting up the safety netting at
It's
Golden Gate Bridge.
$398 million.
Now, you know his dad ran the Golden Gate Bridge.
Do you know I used to dive in those nets?
Did you?
Yeah, we had we had access before 9/11. I knew how to get underneath the Golden Gate Bridge because my dad was the boss. and we would drink and get all drunk and dive into the nets and grab him like a cat because he never knew. Yeah, and so we would dive and land.
But when it said it was Dan's construction or Danny's construction, I went, you know, that just doesn't seem like a pristine name for a company that is putting up $400 million of suicide nets. It sounds like a company that's got a bunch of surfers who are like, oh, the surf's up, we're going to Santa Cruz, screw you. Yeah. That's what I thought.
And,
but that's not the case.
Those are the nets sticking out from the bottom on each side.
No, these are the new ones. It's stainless steel.
Yeah, but they're sticking, not the ones on the bottom, because those were for the people working on the bridge. Oh. This is the suicide one.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
So the poles are all there.
Yep.
Yeah, they just haven't put the nets on them yet.
Well, they have got the nets up now.
Oh, they do?
But it's slowly.
Because Dan's a surfer?
Talk about a cost overrun from 198 million or 142 million to 398 million.
But even though the whole staff of KSCO got fired the other day,
yeah,
right? We're going to talk about that. I don't think they're going to be going to Golden Gate Bridge anytime soon, right?
I hope not.
No, everything's good. We're all good.
Yeah, you got future. Should we talk about first?
Let's talk about the past.
This is your show. Mm-hmm. We're just we're the conductors. You're the band. So you get to say whatever.
The band.
Yeah. Well, you can be the conductors or the.
Where's my groupies if I'm the band? Come on.
Oh, you got groupies. I never had so many people reply to an Instagram post or Facebook post that I had this week when I said Rosie to come on the show and talk about a no holds barred show.
I'm keeping my clothes on.
You're fine.
Well, it's early. A couple more drinks.
It takes more than a couple.
We're only halfway through the show. We're not even that. Like, give us a little bit of time, everybody. By the way, stick around. But a great idea. Let's start at the very beginning.
The very beginning was I had moved here with my to-be husband eventually. I had a boring job in Capitol, or I won't name names, but I did walk in on the owner who was looking at porn and sniffing coke at 10 in the morning. Yeah.
Wow.
And
Dan's construction company again.
He wasn't surfing, though. And I've been there, and I was so bored, I read every free newspaper. I typed 9-page letters to my family.
Wow.
But I had just moved, and I had to have a job. And so I read these newspapers, like just the freebies, you know, the good times and all of them. And on the back page was a 4-page ad. Local guy buys local station. And I went, ha! And I dropped some acid and I had gone to an event in Santa Barbara.
Perfect.
It was perfect. And there was a radio station that was doing a live broadcast. So I got up and sang Summertime. I can't sing.
No.
I don't know the words to Summertime.
You do on
when
acid.
When you're on acid, you know everything.
And is that like what's your karaoke? Are you a Janis Joplin karaoke?
I am nothing. I had
You never did karaoke at the KSCO Christmas parties.
No.
Yeah, no, I did once, I think.
We did.
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah.
We did Madonna.
Yeah.
So...
Like a virgin.
Yeah, right.
We karaoke'd like a virgin.
Your wife, Lorna went home. Lorna goes.
She literally, my wife was like, I'm out of here.
Anyway, so the next couple of days after that, the station manager called me and asked me if I would do a commercial. And I did, and my first commercial in radio was for spare parts for toilets. So that was really, like, great.
We're going full circle.
I'm going a long way with this.
You got a check, though, right?
No, I didn't. I did it for free.
You did.
Well, you know, you don't want to make the toilets parts people go broke.
Yeah.
So I got here and I read these things from Michael and I thought, that's what I could do. I've been reading out loud all my life. So I thought, I'll do this. And so I called the station and I called. And I'm a very persistent woman, as many will tell. And on my 14th or 15th call, he answered the phone. And I said, Mr. Swirling, I said, you know, I could have $50,000 to advertise on your radio station. He said, do you?
Yeah.
I said, no, I don't. I said, but what if somebody is calling with that money? No one's answering your phone. And he went, you're right. I've just fired the person who's here. And I went, I give great phone. I'll come over Monday night at 6. And so I showed up Monday night at 6, looking nice. And there's Michael and his brother in an office that was just a total shambles. And the phone rang. And I looked at the two of them. So I answered the phone. And I said, no, I'm sorry, he's in a meeting. Hold on. Put him on hold, took some paper, cut it up, stapled it, took a message, gave it to him. And I said, any questions? And that was it. Apparently, Dr. Lou said, can she type how many words? And Michael went, it doesn't matter how many words. It doesn't matter. And I started there a week later. I spent the first 3 weeks cleaning because it was a toilet. It was a real mess. And then I started learning about radio. And that was at a time when, I mean, some of those staff members are gone now, I mean, passed on.
Right, right.
And I started, and I answered the phone, and I was all, just like this. And within a year, I was doing the morning show. I was a traffic babe. There were no computers, no cell phones.
Right.
You used to call the CHP all the time.
Right.
And I was very nice.
Was there traffic then?
Yes.
There was traffic.
There was traffic, and there were wrecks on 17. And
of course.
None of those barriers were there. So
No center. Yeah,
I started doing that, and then Sleepy John and Don Husing were doing the show, and John got fired because he was always getting fired by Michael, or Kay.
Sleepy John?
Actually. Yeah.
He's a great guy,
He's
though.
a good friend, dear friend. And so I got the gig, just like that, and I just stepped into it like that.
Were you ever fired? Because it seems that's a common theme
This
amongst
is the
KSCO
first
employees.
time in my life that I've ever been fired.
Yeah.
Okay,
Ever.
And we're going to jump back to the beginning, but I just saw you put a Facebook post out saying, I got fired. Did you really get fired? Was it actually like, you're fired?
It was an email. It
It was
was an email.
a mass email to everybody saying that we were fired and that if the station wasn't taken over in its entirety, as it is, that was in caps, that the station would either go dark or
I just
go
want to say
to
one thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
You got a Dear John letter.
Yeah, I did.
Is that insulting to you to get fired that way?
Having been close to Michael over the years and been becoming his assistant, I became the program director and the mother of the station, and there were other words that people would use, attached to mother, which I won't use here, but you know what
You
they
can
are.
swear, it's okay.
I know. I've got to maintain my dignity.
You're so pro.
Start drinking.
So I'd had all of these different jobs,
Yeah.
and so I felt an affinity with Michael. I always
You were
have.
the most patient. You were the most patient with him.
I've been very patient with him, and I was very disappointed. Am I angry?
But you're not surprised. You're not surprised.
Not now.
Right.
Not now. Now
Right.
we know where it's going.
Right.
But for many years, he's threatened to do this every year. Before Christmas, he would tell us in meetings that he was going to close down the station. And I think that's because we would all be festive and put up the lights and do the decorations, and we'd have a little party and a gift exchange. And he's Jewish, so that's not part of his life. And so I don't know if he did it to piss us off or he just did it, but he did it. And I called him on it this year in a meeting, and I said, you've done this for 20 fucking years. I'm sick of it. So, not that I call things as they are or anything like that.
Do you think things went downhill after his mom passed away?
No, I don't. No, I don't think so. Although he was very close to his mum.
Yeah.
I was very concerned. We would talk about it in advance about what would happen when his mum went.
Right,
because
remember.
he was very close, and we were worried
Right.
about what would happen. And
And you spent a lot of time with his mom. You spent countless hours with his mom.
yeah, I would take her out for lunch every Thursday. I would
Right.
pick her up from the home where she was in at. It's Sunshine Villa, but we called it Sunshine Vanilla. And we would go to lunch at the same place on the wharf, and she would ask me the same questions because she was getting demented, and I would give her the same answers. And then we would go pick up the dog, and then we would go to Marianne's ice cream, where Kay would behave like a 12-year-old because she was loving her ice cream, and then I'd take her back. And I did that for a long time.
Yeah.
And that I was absolutely fine with that. Very conservative lady. And this is not meant as a joke, but this did happen. We were in the car. We just left Sunshine Vanilla. It's right by the wharf, right?
Right there.
Yeah, right there,
We're
yeah.
going to the wharf. And she said, Rosemary, can I ask you a question? I said, certainly, Kay. What do you need? And she said, who's the president? And I said, well, Kay, I said, the president is a black man. His name is Barack Obama, and he's a Democrat. And she went, oh, that's nice. And I went, okay. That tells me where you're at, because she's a very conservative lady. And it was like,
She's like, that's very nice.
Yeah.
You've lost your mind.
well, but she was kind to me periodically. She was a tough lady. She was a tough broad, no doubt. And so, I would go every week. I would take her out on Thursdays, every Thursday, no matter what, rain or shine.
You're a program director, which
I am now.
you got to choose which programs.
Or you take the shit for what's on the air. Either
Right.
way, yeah.
So did Michael have a hand in that, or did Michael actually have the final decision in that, or is it your final decision what programs were?
No,
on the
Michael's
air.
always had the decision on
Someone-
that. I'm just the one that you pick up the pieces. It's very hard when it's an independently owned business, and he is the guy that owns it. He's loved radio all his life, and he's 71.
Which
He's loved radio since he was 5.
what are your top 3 shows that you enjoy on KSCO?
I like the show Driver's Seat on Friday.
That's the
Yeah.
best.
I know
Boring
shit
Jeff is
about
the best.
cars. I don't give a shit about cars.
Right.
I've known Jeff for years, and I love that show.
Boring Jeff, if you don't know, is a car nut. Very knowledgeable.
Oof.
I mean, he knows the insides and out of cars that most people don't even know exist. It's on Fridays,
2 to 4.
2 to 4. I'm gonna miss that show. Honestly,
Well-
he's a great addition.
You stay tuned because you might not have to miss that show. But I was the one, we had the gap in the programming, and I went, Boring Jeff, he's going to come on. And so no one pushed back on that. But by and large, I mean, Rob Carson is on. I had nothing to do with that. I love the Futures.
Yeah.
Because they do a program of space and science
Yeah,
and
yeah.
technology. A little new agey, but I love their show.
Yeah,
It's
they're good
really
people.
great.
When I met Dr. Future for the first time, it was when the Google glasses with the computer
yes,
came out,
yes.
and he was wearing those
All the time.
Yeah,
All the time.
Dr. Future, and I was like, "Holy shit, this guy is Dr. Future," because nobody had that, you know. And he's like, he's talking to me, but I think he's maybe like reading or watching porn or
good.
something in his glasses. I'm like, "What's going on?"
Okay.
Dr. Future.
Thanks, Bill.
And then
One more.
Raising the Standards.
Yeah, yeah,
Mike
yeah.
Jacoby.
Yeah.
He's
It's
a
funny.
great guy.
Yeah.
Rachel's great, but he's 40 years of radio behind him.
Yeah.
And he's got a great voice. He's got a great sense of humor. He likes good food, good drink, and good music. And you can't fault that. So
You know
those are my
That's
favorites.
quality
You know,
radio right there.
Yes.
it is. That's
You
quality.
know, it's a
radio.
shame that because you have a great staff. The staff at KSCO is second to none.
You're
It's a
right.
pity you can't turn around and go, you know what, fuck you, MZ. You're fired.
Well, he was going to LMA it. He was going to let local management, he was going to let Dave Michaels take over the station and run it. And the management, the
What
key
happened to
management.
that deal? Because we were involved. We came back.
We were like,
we-
"Woohoo! Rosie's in
Exactly.
charge."
Well, I wasn't, but we all were going to be in charge.
But Dave came in. Dave came in and said, "Hey, good to have you guys back." He said some nice things, but it never happened.
He's a nice guy. Dave's a great guy, and he works his arse off
Yeah.
for that station and for the products that they sell. But Michael wasn't ready to hand it over. He just wasn't.
Have you talked to Dave? Does he have a plan?
I don't know what his plan is, but he's fired like the rest of us.
Did
Like
you-
Billy, like Carol, like me, like all the
Richard.
board ops, like Bill, like Richard, everybody, Sam, everybody.
Did you believe in the longevity?
No.
No, I didn't either.
I never bought into it because it meant that to start with, in my opinion, you were going to be selling to your friends.
Yeah.
And if I'm selling anything to my friends, it's pot.
Right.
Nothing else. Nothing else. I mean, you don't now. You don't have to sell it and give it away. But
Right.
no, I couldn't get into it. Dave was the only one that got into it. And he did it, and he's done it really well in spades, and he's done really well for himself in doing that. But no, I was interested in the radio side of things. I'm like you, a Brit,
Right.
although I'm an American now.
Well, same
But
thing,
we
yeah.
we were weaned on radio.
Right.
You're listening to BBC
Radio.
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 We were weaned on that. So
Radio Luxembourg.
yes, Radio Caroline.
Right, Radio
All of
Caroline.
the
Yeah.
pirate stations.
Pirate radio ships.
So, and then reading out loud all of my life, because I'm one of a large family, so you would read to the younger kids. It was a no-brainer coming on the radio. I never had fear. I never had stage fright. Nothing.
You have a great radio voice.
It was better when I smoked. Even though
Okay,
I'm
well, I
glad
was
don't
gonna say because I have
I-
people say, "Oh, Rosie must smoke a pack a day."
I used to sound like bloody Brenda Vaccaro, whose voice I love. But when I stopped smoking, that went away. But it's still a bit throaty.
Okay.
Sadly, Michael never signed up for that thing that you can find out how many people are listening. What's it called? Avatar?
N begins with N.
N-
Nielsen.
Nielsen
Whatever.
radio.
It's 75,000 a year, to his credit. It's
Right.
75K
Fine,
a year.
but I don't think you have realized how many people listen to your show, and I didn't realize how many people listen to your show till I saw how many people replied to the Facebook post. Like, you know, so many people listen to your show.
Me too. And in talking with Bill these last few days, as we're sort of looking to formulate a plan as to what we're going to do with the program, I was blown away because you don't see your audience. You're not aware of it. It's not like a newspaper where you know how many newspapers are sold or anything like that. And I'm sure all the TV stations have Nielsen. We had nothing. And mine is finger in the wind. I go around. I was in a gas station the other day. Someone jumped out of his truck and started going, "Always look on the bright side of life." I mean, what the fuck? I'm just in a gas
Following
station
me.
pumping gas. But I just now, as I was parking, someone just stopped me and wanted to say hi.
Yeah.
So that has happened to me. Mostly if I don't speak, they don't know because they don't know what I look like. But when I speak, people talk to me in stores, and it's happened more and more, and it's a regular occurrence now, and it's kind of weird, and I'm not into that celebrity thing, albeit local and pared down, but it's a real part
You
of
are
my
a
life.
celebrity.
Let me just, can I just, go ahead, TC.
No. Well, I just want to say, you think about over 30 years on the radio, working people pretty much stay working people. They get up at their 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, get in their car, drive to work, and turn on the radio. Yeah. And you imagine, I mean, I think we're talking over 100,000 shows, if I'm not mistaken. Have you added it up?
Never.
Okay, well, because it's 30 years times, 300, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
close to 100,000. I mean, there are people who tune into you, they may know you better than their mom from just listening to you talk every day to them.
Well, and because the kind of show that we do, and I'm very grateful to Bill Wolverton, who's on the other side of the camera. He's here because he's co-hosting with me. And,
All your co-hosts have been exceptional.
yeah, but Bill is he's very calm,
Yeah.
and I'm not.
Yeah.
So that's really, really helpful. But it's you don't know them, so you don't see them, so you're not aware of them. And I said the other day at an event, it was when the fires happened, the CZU fires.
Yeah.
I live in the valley. Hello, San Lorenzo Valley, I love you. And when the fires happened and we were evacuated, and I moved into the radio station because I have the dog with me. And I do want to actually say at this point, I am eternally grateful to Michael Swirling for allowing me to take my dog to the station and be there every day. She's been a great comfort to a lot of people, but I'm just very, very grateful. Anyway, so the fires happened. After 3 days, it was finally apparent that I had to move out. And lots of people offered, and I went, no, I'm going to go live in the station. So I moved into the station, suspended the alcohol rule. But only for me! Only for me!
We already broke that rule years ago.
I know, but I was trying to be prim and proper. People would come by
Did you know we drank on the air?
Yes.
Did anyone rat us out?
But you see,
Yeah,
no.
Who ratted us out?
No, because you can tell when you're listening to someone. And that's the job of a program director, is if you've got a good show and your show was a good show, don't fuck with it. Tweak it a little bit and say, well, maybe you don't drink quite so much. Don't do acid before you come in. You do that. But you don't slam down hard, because that doesn't work. Then you're pushing up against people and you're suppressing them. And I then never believed in that. Anyway, so I moved into the station. I was there for 2.5 weeks. And the idea being that someone was there. If I needed to crack a mic, I could. Well, I did a few times. But it wasn't that cracking the mic that made any deep impression on me at all those 2 years ago. It was the people that called me that wanted to talk to me, that were stressed, that were worried, their animals, their relatives, people from out of the area. Can you tell me if my friend's house is in range of the fire? And I had so many conversations with people who were deeply worried, deeply troubled, deeply upset, and they wanted to talk. And I was moved then, and I still am by that. It was an amazing experience.
And those are people from all around the world, wasn't they?
All over the place,
right?
yes. Yes.
Which is, well, I'm going to say something, which is what's going to happen with your new show. Is your show, right? Your show, currently on KSCO, is very localized, right? It's very Santa Cruz. But now, if you can, your next step, where you're going to be, is worldwide. And I'm just saying that because TC is going to back me up here, because you're sitting in the room where the man who came up with that logo right here,
this logo right there.
right here, and the reason people buy into that logo, and TC will tell you because he's the one who said it. People think of Santa Cruz as a brand, right? They think it was a brand, not a town. So being in Santa Cruz, your stations, your program is going to go from being local, yes, but also to being worldwide, because people want to know what's happening in Santa Cruz.
Yeah, they do. But I've traveled extensively in my life, many countries. I've lived in the Middle East. I've lived here for 40 years now. But I do look, as Bill will attest, I'm interested in stories from everywhere, not just here,
Right,
but
right.
the focus is here.
Yeah.
But then the other stories that you could see that maybe these situations will occur in our area, or we're heading in that direction.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got to think locally, act globally, that
For
kind
sure.
of thing.
Well, it's interesting because you don't have the Nielsen ratings. You don't know who's been listening to your show all these years. Neil and I, since we have left, you know, we podcast, we stream live, we get comments from
I get
people
to-
all over the world who are
And
listening.
I get to see, because I now get to see who's listening. Whether
You're an
they're listening
administrator,
from.
yeah. It's
I can see
interesting.
tell me
Yeah.
which country they're in. Now tell me what I know what toothpaste they're using, for crying out loud.
I mean, I guarantee you right now we have people that are tuning in that are in other countries.
Great.
Yeah, which is
Good.
awesome. And so the world will be your oyster. And I think that's interesting. So anyone who's followed you in the past, just good to know that you're going to continue doing what you do.
And we are going to continue what we do because it took 20 years to bring the show to where it was. It was once the computer age came in and we had computers that we were able to capitalize on what we wanted to do, which was to do things throughout the United States, of author interviews, bringing in musicians who were coming into the area. It took a long time to build that up. The program, as far as I'm concerned, and I think Bill also, is where it needs to be. We've got everybody that is on board with the show now is going to be on board with the show in its new incarnation, and I'm very blessed about that. And the support, I couldn't believe it. I was blown away. I still am, actually.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Can we talk about when we went to the meeting? The meeting was on Friday night at the library. A lot of people came.
Yep, it
Right,
was a nice
a lot of people came. A
turnout.
lot of people. That one guy, who was the guy? Dave.
Dave, yeah, Dave
He's
Welsh.
he's interested in buying the station.
He's trying to.
He's trying to.
And what's
But,
Dave's background? Do we know?
He's market engineer.
His dad had a radio station. He did radio station in Minnesota. That's when I'm fucking cold. Anyway, so he's loved radio all of his life, but he ended up going from Silicon Valley to China, and he was a broker. He would broker deals between Chinese governments and Chinese companies and people in the United States. He has an Asian wife, Amy, who's delightful. He's a really nice guy, and his concept is to have a 501c3 that is which community owned, which they have to be with various boards and the like, and give the station to that 501c3, take the tax write-off, and then we run the station. It gives you limitations with a 501c3, but it can be done. But as of when I arrived here an hour ago,
Nothing.
there's no traction on that at
Because
all.
because Dave, is it Dave? Is his name Dave?
David.
He's smart guy. He's
Very.
Neil, there's no books. There's no tax return. As you said, TC, to buy a business, you have to find out what
Profit and loss.
Yeah, exactly.
the P&L statements are, right?
There's
And
there's
if it's
actually
not-
a formula of its worth based on a multiplication table of what it takes in.
Right. So if you have nothing, you got nothing.
And he's been commingling money, his personal money, with the station.
All I have to
And-
say is I hope the IRS ain't listening.
Well, he pays the taxes, but I mean, the station has lost money.
Absolutely. Is there an advertising company involved in the station?
No, it's been
Yeah.
Michael Olson, who works his tush off, and me.
Right.
There's been the two of us, and various and sundry other people have come in. They've not lasted. Neil can attest to that.
Yeah.
And I love that building. I love that building. When I walk in there in the morning, after I visited with Bill at 5 in the morning, I walk in because we're there an hour before the show, and you just get this great feeling of this girl, because we refer to her as an old girl. She's been there for 75 years, and she's seen everybody through fires, through tsunamis, through earthquakes, through any kind of calamity that you like.
Through Neil-
that
through
girl
Neil
has
and
been
TC.
there.
Well, I always say, I've said this since day one with KSCO, that it's a working museum.
Yes.
That was never treated that way. Like, you know, when you walk into the door that leads to the studios, there was like a table. And during a few of our last shows, I actually went around and grabbed some things and put it on that table. And and then every picture we take in there, it's always with that 1950s mic.
Of course.
Which is worth like $5,000.
Probably.
Yeah, but it was never treated as a working museum. You go into where we would tour every guest we had. We tour
Yes.
them.
And they-
We'd take them back to
and
show them
they
the
loved it.
They loved
yeah,
it,
show the
yeah.
transmitter,
Yeah.
pull out some old records. But
Yeah.
then there's like tax documents and stuff in there. You're like, this all has to go away.
There was never a business plan in the beginning. Michael he was a realtor, a successful realtor, and he was thrown out of that station when he was 16, doing Santa Cruz High on the air with his high school mates, Radio Geek already, and he was 16, and he's doing the show. I think it was Wednesdays at 8, and he went like this because that's what guys think are funny at 16, apparently. And so Vernon Berlin, who was the general manager then, was owned by the McPhersons, who owned the Sentinel, who had the station built there for the purpose of putting those towers in that saltwater lagoon. So you get this free push from Mother Nature.
Right.
And Vernon Berlin was a very, very straight-laced guy. And he pulled Michael out of the room, and he threw him out of the building. And as he was at the door, Michael went, "You know what, Mr. Berlin? I'm going to come back and I'm going to buy this radio station." And with the results of his real estate, when he was 40, he spent $675,000 and he bought that building and that radio station. And he had it from March. So he bought it, he got it at the end of January. So February and March, and I joined on April Fool's Day. That was the day I started at the station. So he'd never had a business. He'd never had staff. He didn't know about a business plan. He didn't know about financials. He knew jack, except he had got what he had wanted and lusted, and I don't mean that to be a derogatory term. He had lusted after that radio station, and he got it. And then what'd you do? Well, then you still don't have a plan. And so we find ourselves here on December the 5th in 2022 with the station going away, and that's...
And still no plan.
There's still no plan.
Wow.
There's never been a plan, ever. There's he has a management style of his own, that's what you could call that.
Do you think anything's going to happen on the July 2nd, 2023? Do you think something's going to, anything's going to take us, anything's going to take
January, right? Is it
January?
Yeah.
It'll be January the 1st. He'll
January
go. The plan is, at this point, and this is all I know, just as much as I know, is that there will be a server. And this, when I first went to the station, he got me very excited about local radio, which I already knew about because of listening to local radio in the UK. And he talked about it, and he said, there's so many stations, they just have this box in a cupboard, and they're in Dallas. He always said Dallas. I don't know why. Sorry, Dallas. I don't know why he said Dallas, but he did. He said, so it's a box in a cupboard in Dallas, and there you go. There's nothing else. There's no people. He said, KSCO will never be like that. KSCO is about to become just like that.
Right.
So you got a Dear John letter how long ago?
A week ago.
1 week ago?
Yeah.
Have you had a discussion with MZ since?
No.
You haven't talked to him since?
He's called the station, and when he calls the station, because I still give great phone, I want you to know that. And there could be other opportunities for me in the adult entertainment industry. But we're not talking about that right now.
This is where you're interested. Call Rosie.
Is this where she strips?
No, it's 888, call Rosie. Get your credit card out.
Make sure it's a Black American Express.
The one that goes tink, tink, tink. She wants that.
You take the Discover card?
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, I forgot my...
Well, we were talking about him contacting you since.
So he's called a couple of times to talk to people, and he just says, "Hi, Rosie, let me talk to whomsoever." And there's no comment, and I haven't responded. And I wasn't going to respond at all because being fired is a kind of private thing. And then at the meeting, Michael Olson, our general manager, emeritus, read the letter at the meeting. So the cat was out of the bag, and I went, right, well, if that fucking cat's out of the bag, then my cat's out of the bag. And I just said, I've been fired. And I'm still to this day, even though Bill keeps reassuring me that
Good job,
he's
Bill.
not surprised, I'm just blown away. I have senators and assembly people and people in the community and business owners.
Well, it is good karma because I wanted to add to the people watching that this was not Rosie get rich on the radio. Even though you have thousands of people that adore you, you did this because you love radio and you loved what you did.
And I love that girl. I love that bird. That
right.
building.
You walk in
I
there.
love what she represents to the community. And I always was very important to me that Good Morning Monterey Bay reflected what was happening in the community. If there's an issue, it's not my bag. I'm going to bring on you people that want it and you people that don't, and the listeners can make up their minds. And that was always the plan. I don't do politics. The station is political. My politics have got jack to do with anything. Who the hell wants to have politics at 6 in the morning?
Nobody.
I don't.
Well, you always kept it very middle. I feel like you always had a way of appealing to everybody.
But that's the way. She taught us which direction to take.
Right.
She was always down the middle, and he and I were always down the middle. We didn't support anybody.
Well, we supported one
Gail Pellerin.
Gail
Yeah,
Pellerin.
and
It's the only
she was sworn in yesterday.
Yeah, and Gail's awesome only because she's awesome.
And I coached her daughter for 3 years.
Well, we've had as you know, and on the shows we've had great politicians from congressmen to supervisors, mayors, police chiefs.
You must. You should.
But we've never had a political stance, and that's why I think they enjoy coming on the show, which is nice. And I know you have too, and that's why they want to come and talk.
Yes, because it allows the listeners who people disagree. The listeners aren't fucking stupid. They can make up their own minds. You're presenting the information.
Yeah,
you're giving the questions. A listener gave me, I think it was for my recent birthday, gave me a lovely card. I think he's a guy from Moss Landing. He gave me a very nice card, and he gave me a cut-out portrait of Winston Churchill. And in the card he said, I just want to thank you for not allowing the politicians to blow smoke up our arse. I went, right, okay, then I'll take that one. But you've got to present the information. People aren't that stupid. There are stupid people, and I can't tolerate them at all. I'm not interested in partisan, stupid people. But the majority of people are kind, interested, vested in their community people. And it was very nice of him to give me that. Very nice. I was quite touched by that.
It's interesting because as far as the old girl goes down there.
Yeah.
The building that KSCO is in. Tons of people when we were there, we'd give them tours, and they were like, "I've been driving by here my whole life.
I've never been
in here.
I know, and they think of it that it's just like a little bungalow.
Yeah, and it goes out the back, and it goes downstairs.
Everyone loved it. They
Yeah,
all loved it.
Bartender's right here. Bartender. But so while the bartender's working, give us the history of the station. It was an RCA radio station originally, right? Is that?
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was. When the McPhersons, Malin... See, look, we got eyes too. Malin McPherson and Fred McPherson, who owned the Sentinel, they knew Mr. Berlin, Vernon Berlin, and Vernon, he was the person who put it together. Thanks. And he was a big RCA. Thank you, Bar Hop. Oh, great.
Nice job, Neil.
Oh, it's shaken. No stirred, not shaken.
Bill, you got your work cut out for you now. Just to say. I see that. Yeah.
And so they wanted to put the station there. They selected that site because of the lagoon. It's infill. That's why you can never have anything there but a radio station. Nothing. Anyway, they wanted the station there. I've got photographs in my office of the newspapers of where they dug it all out and they drained the lagoon. God forbid that we might drain the lagoon now.
Well, we know how MZ did that. Did you know? Were you there when he got his shovel and dug that?
I told him what to do, and he didn't listen. So often men don't listen to women.
You've been talking to my wife, huh?
Well, I knew that already. But he didn't listen to me, and he went and did what he did, and he got into trouble. But so they wanted to have the radio station there because Vernon said, this is what we need, because the salt water, because the lagoon is tidal, and the tide was out this morning. When I took the dog out, I said, holy crap, that's bad. It smells like rotten eggs. And so they built the radio station there. Purpose-built as a radio station. It is grandfathered in. It cannot be an Airbnb. You can't knock the station down and build a bunch of apartments. Nothing. So anyway, I've got the pictures. We have the pictures in the station of 41st Avenue. There was nothing. There was nothing there. So they built the radio station. It went on the air September 21st, 1947. Wow. So we've just celebrated 75 years. That how many radio stations do you get that are 75 years on?
Big old
And
zero, probably. You know.
BBC.
BBC.
A few, maybe. A few, maybe.
A few, maybe, but
Yeah.
the whole thing was based on WNBC in New York. You know, it's K to the east of the Mississippi and W to the west of the Mississippi. So we're KSCO, Santa Cruz's own. Or some say, keeping senior citizens occupied. There have been other acronyms.
I saw
but
one
I'm
today. It
not
was
going to say that.
KKKSCO.
You know, there have been some programs on the station. I have to say,
Georgia?
that to me, in my tenure at the station, not only as the program director, but as a member of staff, when she started to call in, it was mildly entertaining because she's a feisty woman and it's a male-dominated business. No
She was
doubt.
like the grandma in Beverly Hillbillies. That's what she reminded me of.
I won't comment on that. Because I think that... no, it's okay. I'm not going to say anymore.
Well, I thought you were going to... I thought no punches pulled.
All right, so she would have had more wrinkles than Grandma, but she'd had work done. There's a bitchy comment for you.
Okay, no punches pulled.
When she started to call in, she was very entertaining. She lives in Capitola. She and her husband were the ones that tried to grab the Rispin mansion and redo that. They got involved in that. Wealthy people, obviously, they had Capitola on their minds. So she called in, and when you're listening to callers, you can tell when you've got one who's good. You can tell when they're articulate, when they can stay on subject, when they're just really good and driven. And the more she called, it was a no-brainer to bring her in. And then this was in Tea Party days. Again, I'm not meaning to go to politics because that's not my gig. Oh, I thought that those were tattoos.
That happens all the time.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Anyway, so she came on board. Sam was her co-host.
That's right.
And she became more and more and more and more far to the right. And at one point, it was mildly entertaining for me as the program director once we got to the little bit more. And then as the more meter started to move up, I became mortified. Sam was very supportive of her. Sam is a great guy. He's worked at the station for over 20 years. And he is right-leaning as she was, or is, maybe. And then it got worse and worse and worse. And then we had the white nationalists and white supremacists calling the station. And finally, Michael realized that it wasn't a good idea to have her on.
Yeah.
And worst of all, after Sam had supported her, done this great job as her sidekick, because a sidekick isn't that easy, as Bill will tell you, because the other person is taking all the airtime, and you've got to come in and pop in and be in, and you've got to be paying attention, you've got to be present, you've got to have good prep behind you, and you've got to understand the person you're working with. Sam
be in the flow.
Sam did all of that, and then she got canned as well. I wish she'd been canned a year beforehand, because I believe that she took us back a long ways as far as advertising revenue is concerned. And then she was fired, and she kicked Sam down and in the dirt and sand in his face. So fuck her. You said no holds barred.
There we go, folks.
There
We
you have
said
it.
we
One
said
more
that at
time,
the very
fuck
beginning.
her.
We're not going to
Really,
pull him.
I mean, to do that to that guy who works so hard.
He's gentle and kind and sweet.
And you know what, too? She would say outrageous things, because I would come into the show. And
He'd be like,
I'd be like,
did you hear what George just said to me?
oh my God. And honestly, I felt I would be sad coming in there.
I was embarrassed.
Yeah, it made me sad to go into KSCO after hearing that.
I understood that the station had a conservative bent. That's the station's business. I didn't. I don't do politics. Not interested in it.
Right.
I got so many other things to talk about that I'll never stop talking.
Yeah.
But when she did that to Sam, screw you.
As-
And that was very unfair to him. And he was hurt. He was
I bet he
really,
was.
really wounded by that.
Can I say one thing before I forget to say it?
Yeah,
I want to say one thing, but so Rosie, I am gonna. He it's our show, me and TC, right?
Yeah.
We do it together.
And you're
But I'm
a great
gonna
team.
step up.
I'll
here.
be a sidekick. Though.
Sidekick for a second. I'm gonna have Rosie be. You're gonna be a co-host of the Up There Radio Show from now until whenever, so you can come on the show whenever you want, and you can keep us updated of what you're doing in the future because people want to know.
I'd be glad to
So
do
what's
that.
happening 2 weeks from now? What's happening a month from now? Like okay, Senator John Laird's coming on Thursday. You should be here for that. Okay. His
comment on my
I
when
saw
it blew
it.
up,
Yeah, you
and when he said that's awful for me and awful for our community, and I went,
I saw that comment.
You should be here for that show. You should come. And we would like to, TC and I would like to, you helped us get going, right? And you don't need any co-hosts, okay? We needed 5, but you don't need any. But you're welcome.
I was just worried about.
But you're
the
welcome to
acid.
come on. And you're welcome to come on any show that we have at any time, and we want to help you and Bill get whatever you got going on. There's a lot going on. Get it going.
We are gonna get it going.
Yeah.
My last day will be the 30th of December at the station. I don't know about the others. I can't speak for anybody else, but Bill and I are on board together.
Yep.
You know, we need to turn the camera around for a second.
You could, yeah.
And get
Why
it to
not?
get Bill.
It's
because
Bill.
he's
Bill,
sitting
get back here, Bill. Get back in
Yeah,
here, Bill.
come over
Bill, take my
here.
seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, grab my seat for a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, take your drink.
Yeah. Bill doesn't drink. There we go.
You know,
This
beer
is-
that
I've got
she's-
Coke
I'm
Zero
like
right
a
over
little-
there.
This is Bill Wolverton, and Bill is a local guy, and just by chance, we ended up meeting, and
I think you schemed. It was by chance for me.
I have been known to be a schemer. So
Yeah.
what do you think about all of this that's going on?
I think it's kind of heartbreaking that the resource to the community is going to go away, and needlessly so. It doesn't have to happen that way. But I'm not in charge and probably not being listened to by the person making the decision. So you and I can do what we can do. We'll roll with it. We'll keep our show going. Exactly how and where, we're still figuring out. But yeah, it's unnecessary to let this thing die. I mean, it's a tremendous resource to the community,
Well,
not just in
KS
times of emergencies, but all the time. And you don't need to let it disappear.
Well, no, and that's not, as you say, it's not our charge. But we've got a good vibe together.
Yeah.
We've got a really good vibe together. He's very chill, and he's really competent at the shit that I'm really not competent
What was
at.
funny, I would go back to the beginning when Bill was first on, right? Because what was the kid's name on before?
I had
Alex was
Alex,
great.
I
Alex was
had
great.
Rick.
And Matt and Rick O'Shea, and you came on, and Bill fucked up many times,
Yeah,
right?
it's true.
Bill
He
fucked
would
up.
write it down every time.
No,
he
but
fucked
Bill would
up.
fuck up,
Yeah.
and you'd be like, "Now, Bill." Yeah, but it'd be like, "Now, Bill, just let's go to commercial."
Yeah.
Now, Bill, this is the traffic music. You never once.
Oh
said,
yeah, she
"Fuck, Bill."
coached me on the air. That's,
What's
that's
that?
How, she coached me on the air.
I know.
Yeah, right when we're
And you
live.
had to choose patient,
That's how I learned.
right?
Yeah.
And now, so he'd have his cheat sheet, and every day he would come to me and say, "Okay, I messed up on this one. I messed up on this
Yeah.
one." Now, at the end of the show, he comes to me.
Yeah.
Almost never anything that's messed up. So we are going to bring the show to this community.
Here's what I
We
want to know.
are,
Yeah, we're
yeah.
going to bring the show to the
We're
community.
going to
Absolutely.
bring the show to community. We're working on the platform. We will have, to this date, everybody that is on the show is going to be coming on the show. No one is backing off. No one is saying no. We're going to deliver the program. It's going to be live and local. And I think we're going to be able to breathe a bit of fresh air because we'll get a music license, so we'll be able to play whole songs.
Yeah, Rosemary
in
can say
front of-
naughty words on the
Do
radio.
we ever get a license, TC?
we don't have a
We don't need a
run
license.
business like MZ.
Yeah, no, we're going to get it.
License? License? What's that?
Can I just say that there's so many people who have watched this show already and have been commenting, and I one caught my ass, and it's from caught my eye, my ass. But I
Caught your ass.
Don't look at his ass, please.
We know anyone named Kenny Thomas?
Yeah.
Yes.
Rosie kicks ass even when she's mad at me and Billy Army. I thought that one cracked me up because you can get mad at Billy Army pretty easy.
Well, because they do
Billy
afterwards,
Army
right?
said, "At least there isn't a dirty couch in the shot."
You know what? There must be. Everybody
Don't
collects.
spill that
things.
drink, Rosie.
I won't. I'm going to drink that drink.
They're laughing at that
Joe,
one for
Joe.
sure.
Yeah, honey.
I don't know what people collect. What do you collect
I haven't really collected
besides
anything.
women?
surfboards.
Surfboard, what do you collect?
Skateboards and
Yeah.
What do
surfboards
you
and-
collect?
A long time ago, Beanie Babies.
And what does
Come
Mike-
on.
I had kids. I had little kids.
No, what's funny is
It's true.
My
Every
kids
time-
collected Beanie Babies.
Yeah.
I gave them away.
Yeah, every time I went to an airport, I'd stop on the way home and pick up a couple of Beanie Babies.
What Michael Swirling collects is sofas.
That's funny. And some of them are so nasty. I literally, so just so you know, MZ, here, this one.
Yeah.
I rolled some of those creepy desk chairs that were so rotten out to the sidewalk. One night, I walked in there and I'm like,
Put
"That's
free
it."
on it.
No, I just rolled them out to the sidewalk because there was a couple that were just so bad.
I do put a blanket on the sofa for hula,
It's
but
bad.
there are.
A couple of them are a couple of seats.
But you can't even see the ones that we have. We have other sofas.
No.
And like someone made the comment to me, they said, "Yeah, well, he's selling the station." I said, "Is it going to be a bonus sales point that they get the sofa?"
You got to keep all the furniture. KBCZ,
Yes, I'm
Boulder
on the
Creek
board.
Community Radio, they said, we so wish we could hire you.
I know. I'm on
Yeah.
the board with them. It's great.
I'm on there Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
It's great. They love you, and
do.
it's a really good radio
You've got to stop being
station.
surprised that everybody
Oh, I
loves
get-
you.
I-
There's just tons of stuff like this,
Yeah.
and you're going to get more.
Tina Davies, she's awesome.
She's
She
fantastic.
is. Yeah.
She
I always thought about
really
that.
is.
You can't do a show there. They can't. Well, we
No,
can talk about
they
that off the
wouldn't-
air.
No, it's
Yeah.
I can't, and we're going to stay here. Bill's
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I'm here. You know, I just said that about the sofas. For all of this absolute shit show that is going on right now, no matter what, I am extremely grateful for being given the opportunity to do what I have done with members of the community and my fellow broadcasters at the station. You don't get that opportunity. It just doesn't bloody happen. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity to meet my members of the community, to serve the members of the community, and to do something that is just... There's Hula, by the way.
There's
This,
Hula.
this is, whoops, this is
there's Hula.
Humphrey. This is her hump. That's Humphrey. We keep waiting for the screaming hand to go, "Wah!" out of it.
I've heard a few hula barks over the years on the
I
radio.
know, I know.
Yeah.
She's aging. But no, I'm very, very grateful. I think this is an honest discussion today, but I'm very grateful that I've had a chance not only to serve the community, but to meet the community, to meet so many people who've got this shit going on that they want to talk about, and stuff that's going on they want to talk about, and they don't want this 8-story building in front of their house that's going to take away their sunshine, and they don't want the train, or they do want the train, or they love the train, or they're going to have sex on the train. I don't know, but all I do know is that I have really, really appreciated it, and I'm also going to really appreciate the people who are going to come with us on our new journey
absolutely.
for Good Morning Monterey Bay, whatever that may be, wherever that may be, and we're going to let you all know where it is.
Well, you're just going to move the whole show forward back from the 40s. Now you're going to move it into 2023.
Fuck you, Neil.
Right? Yeah. Right? No. It's just that.
You just said the 40s?
No. We
it's
try to put
probably
it. We try.
30 years.
We tried to put a video camera in that thing in case it was impossible.
Of
Right?
course, and you can't. People who want to talk on their phone, they have to go out into the parking
Yeah, and
lot.
I just think that you're going to move your station, your program into the future. Right?
We are.
With-
21st
with,
century.
You know, with,
We are.
with being on Spotify, being
gonna
on
be loose. We're
iTunes,
gonna
being
be
on
loose.
YouTube.
I can
seeing
be a
you
loose
in-
woman for you, legit. Yes.
Because
I just feel like you can swear now, Rosie.
and also
is gonna
also
be
Rosie,
there.
5 years ago you would never come on the show because you know why? Because we had video. You're like, remember, so many times you're fuck you, Neil, I'm not coming on. I won't do it. I'm not doing it. Nope, Neil, nope, fuck no.
I was asked to go onto a TV station in Monterey by Gary Cocola recently. Very nice guy, great businessman, really super. He said he would send a car to Ben Lomond to pick me up. Which is like, oh, this is nice. I could have a bottle of champagne in the car. He would take me down there to the station. He would have the makeup person and the hair person. I went, you know what, Gary? I just don't have the face for television. I did a local TV show here in Santa Cruz called The Chick Show. which was hysterical and very, very bawdy, I might add, on a Friday night on community television. We would do our prep in Tampico Lounge. So that will tell you how the show would go. Yeah, right. All they wouldn't go.
Tampico.
It was great. It was a really, really fun show.
I saw that place get knocked down the other day. I was across the street and
I
going,
know.
what
Oh,
a
no.
sad state of
Yeah.
affairs.
Yeah,
That was a
it's-
fun spot.
Yeah,
It
it
was.
was a fun spot, and that show was really a fun show. But I don't have a face for television.
And yet,
Then here
here you are.
But I've realized from you guys and from other guys, but more so from you guys, that this is where we're going.
And by the way, TC, the show
The show
show
brought
is,
to us
the
today
show
by
is
our-
sponsored by
our
Candle
sponsor.
Wine Vodka.
How much is left in that?
Not much. Yeah.
I have a driver, by the way. Thank you. Thank you.
Finish it, Dan.
Oh,
Okay, there we go.
I have
Yeah.
a driver. It's all right. Someone's waiting in my car.
Good.
So, are you excited about your next chapter here?
You are damn right. I am
Good.
excited.
'Cause, I mean, it's
I feel like I've gotten a shot of adrenaline.
Yeah, it's been obvious in recent days.
And I'm just doing the radio program. I am more stoked. I'm terribly sorry that I just have 3 weeks left on KSCO.
But-
Yeah.
But that's okay because Michael wants to retire and he wants to be with his girlfriend Amy, and good for him. I've known him for all of these years and I've not seen him be emotionally happy, and he's emotionally happy with her, and I'm so happy. It's time for something new, and when you get something new, you're invigorated, you're moving forward, and then you have friends like Neil and TC who
Can I inject really quick?
Yes.
Nicole just said, Rosemary, I disagree. You have a great face for television.
I think so too.
Well,
I
thank
think
you.
so too.
Look, I brushed my hair
think-
to do
I-
this.
I-
I don't normally look. I brushed my hair to do this.
Beautiful.
And then
Rosie,
You
we just
feel
Rosie, when we
free.
left, he said left KSCO, I had a big hole going. Oh my God, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
You know, this huge hole. Like, God
Yeah.
damn it.
Yep.
What are
Can
we
I
gonna
say
do?
one more thing?
Yeah.
real
Yeah,
quick?
yeah, yeah.
Chad just said Rosie will be very successful wherever she ends up. One of the nicest and most talented people I've met in radio.
And if I am not mistaken, that young man will be joining our program, but he doesn't. Well,
yeah.
now he knows it
Uh-oh.
because I just said it.
Let me finish what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I think once you get going, you're going to go, I should. This is what I said. We should. When TC and I started the show at the boardroom.
Yeah.
I go, we should have left that fucking station years ago.
Yeah, well, I have a
And
compliment for you.
you're gonna go the same thing. You go, shit, I should have left there 20
Yeah,
years.
but
Except
10
that
years.
I love that,
Of course you
that
do.
girl.
And I love the people who work the station. I love that building. We cherish that
That's
building.
why I loved
We
being
love
there.
Bill
we love
Graff
showing
and
that building. We
Carol
love showing that building off to people. People came in, we showed it off.
I was so proud. I was remodeling the place. That's how proud I was of it. I was
Yeah.
like, this is
But-
a working museum that is not
It
being
is.
treated that way.
Yeah,
It is.
You know?
you're right. You're
It
right.
is.
It
So
could be-
I have a compliment for you. You're not afraid of change, and all of us at the station are going through change right now, and some people are afraid of it. I'm the new guy, but I'm okay with it. You're not afraid, and that's good,
You have to embrace your life. You
Yeah.
have to move
including
forward.
the change in it.
And no, I've never been afraid of change
good.
because I've
I think-
traveled and
I've known her a while back. I know some history about her.
Yeah.
And her and
And
I
if
very,
you dare
her,
talk
her and
about
I
that
very
history.
similar. Her and I similar so many things.
Yes.
But I think she's like me, where you have a hurdle, there's get another hurdle, there's another hurdle. You get over the hurdles, you go around them, you get over them, you go around them, and you get to the finish line.
Yeah.
You don't get to hurdle and stop. Her and I like the same thing. You get a hurdle, you're going to clear it and go on to the next one
And-
until you get to the end.
and that's life, and
Yeah.
that's working life, and that's personal life, and you have to learn how to clear those hurdles. And I maybe because I'm from a large family, I don't know, but I was always taught
Top 3 guests of your show were. Top 3 guests.
Oh,
top three.
Top 3 guests of your show
You want
were.
to go from top to bottom?
Sure.
Top. I made him cry.
Oh no!
is this number one?
I knew.
This is
was
number
it.
one?
Yeah,
Yes.
this is number
Now
one.
give us number 3 first.
You're number 3.
Number 3, top 3 guests.
I would say that having the best Hawaiian slackgy players in the world,
Yeah.
Edward Kahapana, George Kahumoko, anybody of that ilk coming in and playing guitar.
Yeah,
Number
amazing.
2 would be the English guitarist Lawrence Juper, who is the most superb guitar player in the world. I'm so non-musical, and I would almost flop over in the chair. Plus, he's super easy to look at. I mean, it was, oh. But he was the chief guitarist for Wings,
Oh wow.
and a wonderfully low-key guy. But my favorite, and I made him cry, number one, Richard Simmons.
Yeah.
No.
She made him cry.
Get the hell out of
I've
here.
always loved B actors, B people. I don't need A.
Right.
All of the A people, you've got your A's.
Yeah.
And most of them are assholes anyway, and that works. But the B people or the C people, and I've always loved Richard Simmons because of him, of who he is and what he is. And this was before he went into seclusion. And I was so excited about having him on for no reason other than having him on. Because
Did he show up in his little shorts?
no, he wasn't. He was only on the phone. And I was so excited, and I promoted him. Oh, Richard Simmons, he's my favorite. He's my hero, because he does so much for the elderly people and gets them get up and moving. And he's got his cute little shorts. And he's so lovely. And I did the slightest bit of research. That's the sound of my lovely dog. I was so excited having him on. And I did the slightest bit of research, and I found out that his dog had just died. And of course, here's my lovely hula girl. Yeah, look at that. Can you look over there? Oh, look at
I
you.
lost it. Oh, I got rotated.
Anyway,
Okay, we're back.
I was so excited. I did a marginal piece of prep, and I found out that his dog had just passed away, like days beforehand. And I'm a huge dog lover, and he came on the air for no other reason than to talk about being Richard Simmons. And I said, I just have to tell you, Richard, I'm so sorry about your dog. And he burst into tears. And I have never forgiven myself for making Richard Simmons cry on my radio program.
There's therapy for him.
Rick O'Shea, who was my co-host at the time, he said, do you realise you just made Richard Simmons cry? I went, oh my God, this is so terrible. I'm never going to live it down.
But you know what though? That's what makes good radio.
Yeah.
You know, Neil
I'm
and
sure
I,
it was.
we literally have had guests cry on our show.
Yeah.
And when we end that night and we talk 5 seconds about the night,
Yes.
we say that's good radio.
Yeah.
It was incredible. I mean, the first interview was about how he does all the cruises with all the old people, and they do all of this. Of course, he's now a recluse, but that was my favorite because I loved the guy because he was just him. He wasn't trying to be anything else other than him helping people, especially the elderly. And I have a very, very soft spot for the elderly. And no, I'm not elderly. But I just had a very soft spot for him. I've been very fortunate to have tons of well-known people nationally and internationally, especially authors and things like that, which is great.
Yeah.
It's really great. And that is not going to change.
Nope.
Not at all. We'll still have them. And Bill asked me the other day, how do you learn how to interview someone?
Yeah.
I have no bloody idea. Because nobody taught me.
Are you
There
good
was-
at it?
Yeah, I know, but there was
Well,
no one when I went
we,
to the
we,
station.
we learned a lot. TC and I learned a lot from Rosemary.
Yeah.
Because, you know, she didn't have any notes. We started doing notes. We had notes to start with. We'd meet before the show and we'd do notes.
Yeah.
Then the notes got worse. They got into they'd be a nice piece of paper. Then they want a brown paper bag. Then they just go, fuck it, you know. Right? And Rosie is the same thing. I think you just don't bother with it. You got a guest coming on that can be a famous guest. It can be a famous whoever, author, musician, whoever, famous. Right? Fuck it. Just
Well,
have
she
a
asked about what
conversation with
interests
them.
her. That's
Yeah.
what she told me. Ask
And
about
then
what
people
interests
come in and
you.
go, you know what, thank you. I really enjoyed the interview with you. It wasn't manufactured. It wasn't.
I hate wooden interviews.
Right.
Because they sound just like they are wooden.
Yeah.
Who the fuck wants to hear a wooden interview? Well, how was your book? And how was that experience? Bollocks. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that at all. I will never do that.
Yeah.
And we will not do that in our new iteration, wherever it may be. We won't do that either, because that's plastic.
You
So
want
that's-
it to be on the couch. We always say that.
Hey,
We are-
these aren't plastic.
Heads up, bro. Zoom
These
in.
aren't
There we go.
plastic.
Zoom in.
And they will never be plastic.
Here we go, boom.
I zoomed in.
We're scared.
Neil, the booth
Thank
is
you.
working.
Can we get another bottle, please? Can we get another bottle in here? We need another bottle in here.
The girls are coming out.
To play.
Hey, we always said that the best interviews are the ones that feel like you're in a living room talking as friends.
And that's exactly what you do, is you look at the person across the room, or you listen to the person on the phone, and the PR people send you the FAQs, the frequently asked questions. Fuck that. I don't care about your questions. I've got my own questions. Then people say, and they probably do to both of you too, what are you going to ask? I don't know what I'm going to ask you at all. I have no idea. Do you have any plan when you have guests
Do we have a
on?
plan for this show?
No.
That's true. We didn't rehearse.
This was all planned for this show right here. She wanted Kettle One. She wanted cranberry juice, fresh limes,
It's like Mick
and
Jagger's
ice.
coming on the show.
Yeah, baby! Bring it on! Woo!
You know, and we always say that, though. It's your show, Rosie. We're here for your show. And then we say that to our guests. When we get these, when Jimmy Panetta comes on, we're like, what do you want to talk about, Jimmy? And then we go from
Well,
there.
Jimmy, first of all, most of there was a bottle of wine available.
But that also allows that person to be themselves.
Of course, yeah.
And they're not put into a box because they're on some national media and here's the microphone in your face. No, that's not how you do it. And I'm very excited to say that John is going to be continuing to be a bi-weekly guest on the program.
John Laird?
Yeah, John Laird,
Very
Senator
good.
Laird, but also Assemblywoman Gail Pellerin,
Yeah.
who was, she took her oath of office yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
She is going to be coming on every other week.
Yeah.
So we're going to continue to follow what happens in our community. Sadly, it won't be on KSCO, but I send my love and great appreciation to the listeners. As I say, that when you do the show, because you don't see them, you don't know. You don't know who's there. You don't know. But I have a very soft spot for the elderly and for the infirm and for people who are in their homes and can't get out. And I know that what we do matters to them. If we laugh, if I crack a dirty joke and Bill sort of looks at me like, well, you didn't have to
I
do
tried
that,
to reel her in a
Rosemary.
little bit.
But no, we are going to cater to those people and to everybody. We're not.
And so, do you want to let people know if they're still going to hear about birds and cooking and gardening?
Yeah, will
Yes.
high school kids be able to be still
I'm going. Because of COVID, we didn't get a high school kid this year, but we will get a high school kid because Chad, who you read from, Chad Oakland Jolan was my high school kid for a year. He's a super duper guy. He then went from Harbor High to San Jose State. He got his bachelor's. He got his master's
Well done.
in communication. He has worked with. He ran KSJ, the station for San Jose University, San Jose State.
Yep.
I see you've.
So,
graduated
Rosemary, you
to
can say hi
beer.
to Chad.
Yeah.
I saw his name go by. He's watching right now.
Yeah,
I
Chad's
know
watching,
he is,
yeah.
and he is just an awesome guy who cut his teeth on our station on KSCO.
I think
There
a
have
lot of
been
people-
many people.
Yeah, a
Well,
lot of people cut the teeth on KSCO.
Yeah,
Anybody who came to just do a show there wanted to try their hand at it like we did. A lot of people cut it. Whether they're successful or not, it takes balls to get up there in front of the microphone and speak to people.
okay, do you want to hear a story about someone who is successful?
Yes.
Which is a guy called Jason Nathanson. Short, chubby, balding Jewish guy. Up at UCSC. He's a bit of a troublemaker. He and 4 friends started a show on the station. And
What was it called?
it'll come to me in a moment.
Okay.
So they would do the show, And every week, Kay would try and fire them. And every week I would say, no, you can't fire them. They're too good. They're cutting edge. They're really great. They're really awesome. It was the random show.
Oh yeah, I
It was
remember
the random show.
I remember
So
that.
they would, the random show. They didn't give a fuck. Right? They would come in. They would do things about Jesus on a stick, and they would do all sorts of really random things. Well, eventually, they decided that they were going to abandon UCSC, and 3 of the 4 wanted to go into media. And I did my best to help them, to assist them, to guide them, to show them, and whatever. And Jason was the ringleader. And so they left the university. Jason went on a tour, a driving tour across the country. He met Oprah Winfrey, and he had a bunch of weed, and he got into trouble because of that. But anyway, so Jason was, of the 4, he was really good. There was one of them wanted to go into sports. He is now a producer with Fox Sports. Thank you very much. Another one went to KNX, which is a 50,000 watt powerhouse in LA. And Jason went down to LA. He worked at KGO. He did overnights at KGO as the board up, which is, by the way, for those of you who are board ups, you are fabulous.
Yes.
You are fabulous because you're the unsung heroes of radio because no one recognizes you. Anyway, so Jason moved down to LA. Bright guy, short, balding, early balding. Oh, do you want to come in here? Yeah, you can come in here. Jewish guy, and he wanted to be in radio. He got a gig at KNX. And part of the gig at KNX was, who was the guy, the black guy who did the Jello commercials?
Bill Cosby.
Thank you. Bill Cosby puts on the Playboy Jazz Festival every year. And in radio, no, you can't have a cocktail with you. Sorry. So every year they put on the Jazz Festival, and Bill Cosby, this is in the days when he was loved. You have in radio, TV, and print, it's called a pool. So let's say you're the TV guy, you're the print guy, and I'm the radio girl. So we're the only 3 people that go to the interview, and everything that we do, we have to give up.
Sure.
You have to give up to your other stations, your print, to your radio. That's what you do. That's a standard thing. And so they were doing an interview at the Playboy Mansion, and Jason was the KNX reporter for radio. He was the pool guy. So any questions you have, any sound you have, you give them to the other stations because that's standard in the industry. So the 2 other guys that were there, he loved them. Mr. Cosby loved them. And when they asked the questions about the Playboy competition, the Playboy Jazz Festival, what do you think about so-and-so? Oh, yes, I think they're great. And the next person, the print guy, goes and asks the question. And Jason asks the question. And Bill Cosby fucking hated Jason Nathanson. It was one of those instant dislike scenarios.
Wow.
So every time they did the round table, Jason was dissed. And Bill Cosby, whom I don't know from my life, yeah, baby. I don't know him really because I didn't grow up with him. He dissed Jason every question as they went around. So that meant that Jason went back to radio, that he had nothing to give the others.
Yeah.
And so that happened. And so then a gig came up, a job that was for ABC, the network Hollywood reporter.
Somebody commented that. They said ABC.
Oh, it's ABC.
Yeah,
sorry.
somebody's watching who knows.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And so, when it happened, so what they said, the job was up for this Hollywood reporter, and so Jason put together every clip of Bill Cosby saying, "No, I don't have an answer for that. No, I don't want that question." But Jason was very creative, and so he sort of created this fantastic.
That's clever.
Mm-hmm.
He got the job.
There you go.
As the network correspondent
No kidding, really.
for ABC on the West Coast.
Wow. In your face, Mr.
As
Cosby.
a result of, because when he presented this video, and the video went, "No, I'm not answering that. No, I don't have any answer. No, like this. And he got the gig.
That's
and
great.
he was our baby.
Right.
He was my baby. We've had a lot of people that have gone,
Are we your baby?
yes. God, you think I gave birth to you guys? Oh, no!
You probably, but honestly, I can't even imagine how many people could say you affected them in their lives one way or the other. You know, it's because obviously you don't know how many people are listening to your show, but over the years, there's words make a large impact in people's lives.
Of course they do.
You got our show. You got our show going,
But when
So you're one of her whelps, huh?
and we're 720
He
shows
says
in.
he's doing the Oscars. Billy says he's doing the Oscars and the
he
Grammys
does the
and stuff.
Oscars, the Emmys,
Grammys, yeah.
Jason
So,
does.
Thanks, Billy, for doing that.
Thank you,
Appreciate
but he gets to go to all of these shows, and plus when he travelled across the country after he left UCSC, he met Oprah Winfrey, and he had a bunch of pot.
Yeah, but so he got caught with the pot?
He did.
Did Oprah
But
bail him out?
he didn't get busted, but it just shows that.
Are we
it's
breaking the
old
news story that Oprah smokes pot?
She doesn't. She fucking should. She's friends with that slag Meghan Markle and her husband.
Oh!
You hate her.
Oh, yes!
Here we go.
She is a slag.
She is a slag. Thank you.
Ah,
Okay, I was born here. What's a slag?
Meghan Markle is a
Meghan
slag.
slag.
Help me.
She's a hussy.
Hussy, I know.
Yeah.
She's vile.
Yeah.
She's vile.
Yeah.
It's self-aggrandizement, and I'm not going to talk about it.
We're not
Can
going
we
to get
say-
into that right
hang-
now. But
hang on.
Okay, go ahead, Neil.
Go ahead, TC.
Well, I was going to say, you're working towards your last show. It's coming up.
Can we talk about? Let's talk about the last hour. Can we talk about the last hour
It is going
of your
to
show?
involve really, as I said on the air the other day, when I had said that I'd been fired and it's happening, it will be classy. It will not. We will not stoop low. We will not be unpleasant. We will not be rude. We will not swear.
And one thing.
I hope.
One thing.
And it will. Because I came in classy. I've stayed classy.
Good.
And it will be classy. And I'm very thankful to Michael and his family for giving me the opportunity.
Rosie, you've shown a lot of class today because we didn't know what to expect. As you said, we have no notes.
We have a bottle of Keto White.
That's
what we have.
Bottle of vodka, and you could have blasted MZ. You could have said a lot of negative things about whatever, and you have not. You remain classy throughout the whole show. You've been thankful. You've been grateful. That's just who you are as a woman, I just can't say enough about you. You know, you're a dear friend.
Well, thank you very much, and you are a dear friend, as is Bill.
But hang on
as
one
is
thing.
you.
We got a little problem. We got one thing we want to say.
Uh-oh.
Okay? TC and I have to come back on the air before you fucking close down shop.
All right, but no swearing. Yes.
No, we won't swear.
Well,
we-
swear. Are you
won't
talking
swear.
about us going to KSCO?
We want to have
Yeah.
one
Is
more.
there
We
room
want to
for
have
us?
one more.
You'll come back in. Okay, you can be my last guests on.
All
Good
right.
Yeah!
Night.
We made it!
Are you for real?
I'm for real. That
I'll
would
put it on the calendar.
You're going to be sure we get fired,
Huh?
right?
That,
You're sure we're
I know
fired?
Bill will
Neil,
be there
is the
too.
code on the door still the same?
Yeah,
Do we still know the
I have
code?
the little black chip.
Okay, we're coming in no matter
It'll
what.
work.
Okay, I just want to focus in on a badge that I am wearing, which is please support Ukraine and Ukrainian people in our community.
Yeah.
I had one, there was one this morning, and I'm going to have her on, and so it's very important, and she noticed that I was wearing my badge. No, we will keep, the program will be absolutely above board, and there won't be any drinking.
Can we sing?
Yes! And you know what? We're going to sing the whole fucking song. We're not going to sing 2 minutes of it.
Yeah,
We're going to
the
sing
whole
the
fu-
whole
The
song.
three of us will make it'll be amazing.
Oh no, there'll be a
Bill,
lot
you
of
sing?
people.
Are you good?
I don't sing well.
Well,
No,
it
we-
doesn't matter.
She makes me sing
Okay.
every Friday,
All
so
right.
I do it.
All right, well, the quartet will be amazing.
Yeah.
No, there'll be a lot of people there. And I'm just very, very grateful for how my life has turned out from doing acid in Santa Barbara to sitting here with you guys in a bunch of T-shirts. I mean, look, how much better does it get than this? For fuck's sake.
Okay, so people who are watching and people who watch down the road,
Yes.
how are they going to find your new show? Is there a place that they can contact? or-
Not yet. Within the week, you'll know where you can find us. I'll put it out there on whatever platform.
I'll tell you what, wherever that's going to be, I will announce that on the Good Morning Monterey Bay Facebook page.
Yeah.
That's one thing I know we have control over right now.
Okay.
But there'll be a more solid place that everyone will have access to.
So the Good Morning Monterey Bay Facebook page.
Yeah,
If
and
you're
that's what it
following,
is.
You should, because if you want to see Bill and Rosie.
That's not going to go away to January 1st.
No.
But
No.
no.
No,
But
no,
they'll always be
we're
there.
talking about the next year.
Yeah.
But to find out
But we'll get
how
a new
to
site
listen,
that's not, you don't have to have Facebook for, so everybody will be able to have us.
Awesome.
Yeah,
and I'll
we're going
announce
to go
there where it
across
is.
all of the platforms, whatever the fuck that means. We'll be on a platform.
You don't need to know, because I know. And
Because
Yeah.
when I was growing up, platforms were bras.
uh,
So just so...
Zoom in there, TC.
we almost got him out. I tell you what.
Okay, platform!
That kettle one works. Thank
you guys so much for hosting us.
We love you.
We greatly appreciate it, really.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, you're
We
welcome.
really do. And your support and your enthusiasm for our program and knowing that we're going to keep it going because...
We talk about you. We've talked about you
talk-
so much
Yeah.
over the years. We've talked about you, the first show, or just the stupid shit we did and not get busted for.
Yeah,
and,
it's insane. We
Rosie
literally
would
thought
turn
we were
one
going to
up.
last 5 shows. And
Well,
we're-
that's okay
yeah.
because we're going to have 5 other people who are going to take care of
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you have the drive after 30 years on radio to continue this.
Yes.
And I also want to say, people wake up, get in their car, they listen to you, they have their coffee. It's such a routine, and to have that routine end right now would be sad.
Absolutely.
And so that's
Devastating.
what I
It'd be
love.
devastating.
Yeah. And
We're not going to change the time of the program.
Yeah.
Bill, bless him, is willing to do I get up at 3:30 to do the show.
Yeah.
And if it's going to be on video, for fuck's sake, I'm going to have to look better.
No,
But we're going to do it,
Perfect.
and we're going to do the show from 6 to 9,
Yep.
just like we did.
Yep.
Just like we always did with all of the guests we have, with our birding guy, man, Jeff Manker. I don't know if you like birds, but this guy,
He makes it
He's
exciting.
well-
I know nothing about birds.
No, but
I
it's
listen to-
exciting because
yeah.
he's good.
he's fantastic. All of your regular, Rocky Snyder is going to be with us.
and Rocky commented on your post the other day, and I saw that as well.
Yeah.
Rocky's awesome.
Yeah.
How about Charlie and Adam? They're going to be there?
Who?
Charlie Cuteman and
Charlie
Adam.
Cuteman's going to be there. I hope Adam is going to be
Chef Jamie?
there. We've got advertisers who are going to stay with us and be with us, and we are going to do it, and we're going to lift it up. And doing this
Yeah.
today, albeit that we won't be doing a ton of drinking, or at least you won't. No, I won't. But I could.
Well, now you're not FCC after this.
I know, but I've done radio once when I was stoned. And I smoke pot every day, but I only smoke when I get home. I only drink when I get home. What we do lifts up the community.
Absolutely. I was part of that community. I know this.
He's been listening for 30 years.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So-
Everybody has, Rosie.
Yeah.
You just
We-
don't
I
know.
keep telling her this.
No, you don't have the demographics
I
that
didn't
everybody
know.
has.
I didn't know,
It's
guys.
true.
I had no idea
Right.
that there were so many wonderful, delightful people who listen.
When I get home to see it this afternoon, I'll show you the numbers from this show.
It's
Just from
big.
this show.
I can tell already. There's a lot of people who've been watching. You have a big following, and Nielsen ratings aside,
That's bollocks.
off the lip radio show ratings,
Yep.
you're number one. So you're kicking butt. And I just heard from our agent that we're going to be on the last show.
Nice.
Okay, all right. Well, we're going to give you a little.
Oh, here we go! Woo, woo, woo! Can't do that on KSCO.
You know what? I did. Because there's a great big glass
Oh,
window.
Billy Sunshine just put 6 hearts across the
You dirty dog.
There you go, Billy Sunshine.
When Sleepy John and Don would do the show, and there would be moments where nothing was happening, and I'm, nothing if not feisty, and there's a huge glass window between the front office,
lobby
which
and-
was my office, and the studio, and then there's a huge glass window between the studio and the control room, and these two guys were like,
Boring.
yeah. So, well, but Sleepy John wasn't boring, but I got to the point where I went, okay, I have to get them. And so it was in the days when we didn't wear bras, and I wish those days still existed, but they don't. And I think I own 2, and I hate them. It's like a woman goes home, and the first thing you do is, just take off the bra. And so what I would do, because I didn't wear one in those days, I would walk in and I would just lift my top, and I would take my bare breasts and I would just rub them across bare breasts so they were smushed. So they look pretty good.
How come we didn't get that, TC?
That makes good radio,
No, but what would happen is when they were doing
Did they say anything?
Yeah,
No.
so I would just lift my top and I would just
Smear
I
'em.
say smear because
She'd wash
I
the
would
windows.
smear.
You'd wash
Because
the
at that
windows.
time the breasts were pert enough to smear. So I would just lift and I would
Smear.
smear them across the. And Sleepy John would say, "Oh, Rosemary is washing the windows again."
That's why it's called Sleepy John.
So fucking stoned he didn't notice it was being smeared across the window.
You know what, Joe? You know what, Rosie? I think your last show.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Smearing.
Yes.
News deal, we're gonna be there.
I'll get mine out, TC. You want to take?
Oh no, we,
Mine are a little hairy, mine are sticky, but
mine aren't hairy or sticky. They're
Holy
sticky. Why are
mackerel.
they sticky?
All right.
just because it's young. It's not sweet. Neil, I do want to say, 32 years of making this community better, Rosie. Yeah,
Good job.
yeah. Congrats to that.
Thank you.
yeah.
2 people are clapping. That's great.
Well,
Lots of people are clapping.
yeah, but honestly, you don't know your effect that you've had on our community, and it's gigantic. And you may not ever know that, but I know. Bill, you know.
Absolutely.
Neil,
I've been
you
listening
know.
forever.
And you're so humble, but you're like this rock star that is so humble, and that's amazing. And don't ever change, because that's what this community needs: are humble rock stars.
You're not going to change.
But we need dogs too.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We need dogs too, and I hope that anybody who can will go to your shelter, wherever you may be, and look at animals, of dogs or cats or birds or chickens or anything that you will take and adopt into your lives, because it will enrich your life.
Absolutely.
And I am just so grateful.
190-year-old turtles, whatever it is.
100. I did the story today about Jonathan, the turtle, who's 190 years old.
Wow.
Well, I've got a ways to go to get there.
Well, Rosie, this business, our #1 donation getter is the official animal shelter of Santa Cruz.
Good.
That's
Good.
where we
I'm so glad.
every fundraiser. Right now we're selling dog bowls. We're sold out right now, but all the money goes to them. Our annual skate contest, but we try to get at least $6,000 a year for our animal shelter.
And
for
that
you.
company is.
The Santa Cruz boardroom. Thank you, Rosie. A pro, as always.
I just drank and just pushed
Rosie?
a whole bunch of
Rosie,
vodka
stick
and cranberry down my boob.
Rosie,
My right boob.
Rosie, thank you for you and the girls for coming in the show.
Thank you so much
We love you.
for having
Thanks,
us.
Bill.
And we'll see you in the new venue.
I got John. We've got John Laird coming on Thursday. You're welcome to come.
Thank
If
you.
you want to, if you don't want to, don't
Thank
worry
you
about
so
it.
much. We love this broadcast. It's
Yeah,
fabulous.
thanks, guys. Thanks for having us.
Okay, so just you have a few more, 2 more weeks, 2.5 weeks, right? What do we got?
We got till the end of the month.
30th,
Okay,
30th.
the 30th is your last show. You're inviting
coming-
anybody to call in right now to say, like, thanks for that?
To call in now?
Yeah, or no, but in the future.
Oh, yeah, that show will be pretty loose because you guys will be there. And you
Yeah,
guys
we'll
are
be there.
pretty loose.
We'll be dressed up,
and
though.
you're going to be
What do you
soon
mean
doing your
you're
own.
going to be
With
dressed
suit
up?
and tie and everything, right? Got a whistle and flute, no?
A whistle and flute?
Yeah.
Apples
Oh,
and
do you have a
pears?
whistle on a flute?
Whistle, you don't know
That's
that.
apple. Are you going to wear a tie?
Yeah.
Only a tie?
Yeah. Oh.
Well, are we really? So, are we really going to be there?
Yeah.
You are going to be our
Our
last
guest.
guest.
Yes.
With a lot of other people
For sure.
because my friend Collie Grizzlack, who is fabulous, she is a fantastic chef.
It's true. Don't
And
miss it.
she is going to be providing food.
Food. All right.
Awesome.
We're coming.
For sure.
I knew you would!
Yeah, we're coming. We're getting fed. And we're
And
getting have
you
some
know
fun.
what? We're having Tom and Jerry's.
Perfect.
And do you know what Tom and Jerry's are?
What?
They are the European equivalent of, that ghastly stuff that everybody has.
Kale?
Yes. No, we're having it's with hot brandy and hot rum.
Okay, I think we'll survive.
I was wondering if you might.
It's eggnog. It's eggnog, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, but it's eggnog without the slime.
Oh, yeah, we'll
effect.
be fine.
Oh, no
Yeah.
problem. Got it.
It's going to be a
So
great
you're
show. That's
invited
going
for
to be a
that.
fun show.
Love it.
It is going to be
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, yeah.
Again,
And of course,
again.
Hula's going to be there.
And then we're going to
Always.
we'll Facebook Live the show, so it's going to be shitload of people watch that show.
A
If we're not
shitload of
extra
shit.
fired between now and then.
Yeah, actually, shitload of people.
And can we announce the new social media page on that day? Is that possible for your followers?
We don't have it. I mean, I was fired a week ago, which is so.
We'll scramble. We should be able to do that.
Yeah.
You'll
we
figure
can
something out.
get it. Bill is an awesome guy in terms of doing media and you know, I love that. I go, oh, yeah,
take
here
care
we
of
go.
it.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
we have counter
gotta
skill
do it, Neil,
sets.
too.
We're a good team.
They're making slow footprints, TC.
Right. But maybe on that show, because we're going to broadcast as well.
You know what? If it would be offensive to Michael Zwirling, I won't do it. But what I will do is I will use social media to let people know. I'm not going to. I have no reason to knock Michael. He's been extremely kind to me and to all of us broadcasters over these years. Really,
You are so gracious.
Yeah.
You get a Dear John letter, and you are so gracious. And that shows the character of you, Rosie.
Well, bless you. Thank you, TC. But that's how you should be. Because
Absolutely.
what do you gain by being some kind of stubborn bitch? It doesn't work. That's unnecessary. It brings unkindness. It creates unnecessary memes and content and what have you.
You describe politics.
Yeah. I'm very, very grateful for Michael to allow us to broadcast all of these years and do what we have done. It is coming to an end. Am I sad? Yes, I am. Am I totally stoked about the future?
Yes.
Yes,
Let's
I
bring it
am.
on.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen. And a week ago, I didn't think it would. I because I hadn't expected it. But we're in it, and others are in it, and we're going to do it, and it's going to maintain, and it's going to be here. It's going to serve you as a community.
Absolutely.
Do I want your calls during the show? Fuck no, I don't. But you can call other shows because
No one wants. Don't have
They
people
say the
call.
same thing every time. Anyway,
But also, we're hoping to bring in other programs,
Yes.
like your program, like the other programs that are on KSCO, that we'll bring in to like an accordioned program. I have no idea. The whole thing is so new.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm not depressed.
It will develop. It's all going to develop in
I
due
know,
time.
yeah, it will.
for sure.
And I'm so excited about the future because I like having a situation that we go from one situation, suddenly there's another situation. And that's what we've got going.
Right.
And I'm stoked.
Good.
sky's the limit.
It
Yeah,
is.
sky's the
And
limit.
thank you so
Yeah.
much,
Thanks, honey.
TC
Yeah.
and Neil, and for Bill and Hula's behind.
You know, TC, you said today that the
And
world is
thanks
our
for
oyster.
Keto One.
Yeah.
That was the sole content of an email I sent her yesterday. I said the world is our oyster, and that was the whole message.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, we're thinking along the same
Well,
lines.
and I just want you to remember, Rosie, before we end the show tonight. Thank you for both of you coming on, but 100,000 shows later, you've changed people's lives.
Wow, that's
And
a lot.
don't forget that.
And their kids'
you
lives,
know,
and their
yeah,
kids' lives.
like what you have done has changed people's lives, and let's keep doing that. And I know, like, you could be your own media empire.
I don't want to do that.
But I'm just saying, that's the power that you have. You can unleash it however far you want. You have that power. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you just take a
And-
picture of this? Of this, let's support Ukraine. I would really appreciate it if you could support Ukraine by wearing yellow or wearing blue or just supporting Ukraine. I would appreciate it.
All right, Rosie.
Very nice.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
What a show. Yeah.
Wow.
Coming up, Justin Cummings coming on the show tomorrow morning,
Yep.
and then Thursday night, Senator John Laird.
Senator John Laird.
Yes, coming on. Rosie might be back for that. We
Rosie, maybe a
I
do-over?
might be back for
so
Justin.
stoked we're going to be the final guest,
I
TC.
heard that rumor.
It's so stoked.
Okay. By the way, everyone, all the comments and the views tonight,
Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you,
And
everybody.
you can
for
catch the
tuning
show
in.
later on YouTube if you want to post it or share it
Yes.
with somebody. It's going to be on YouTube, and it's going to be on all the major podcast platforms.
Love it. And as always, T Fox, thanks for letting us share it with your friends as well.
Yep.
And Neil, we'll see you very
Tomorrow.
shortly. Good night, everybody.